Hello, my name is Demján, and this is an instructional video to the new and modified features of the control application for the Laser Edit Profiler version 3.5. First, let's have a look at the calibration function, which is slightly modified in this version. I will first turn on here the upper camera and turn on the laser lines. And here immediately you see that the laser lines are visible for the camera, which is not desirable because it will be detected, and that's not what we want. So first I use this. I click and drag and to crop out the laser line. And if there were any other light sources, I can also use the crop function to blend them out, and I do the same for the lower camera. Okay, and now I insert the calibration pad into the laser line. It should be visible by both cameras, so the upper camera and the lower camera. I see I have to modify the cropping here a little. So now I can start capturing the calibration points. I use this function, and here you can see if it's okay, then the calibration points are automatically detected for the upper camera, and for the lower camera it seems okay. I can just adjust the exposure a little because we only want to see the laser line, nothing else. And also for the upper camera, and if I'm happy with it, I can click the capture button, and the calibration points are stored for the upper camera and also for the lower camera. You see the points are stored now. So that's the calibration, and let's have a look at some of the new functionality regarding capturing the profile. There's a bunch of new controls here regarding the image recognition. So I will turn off the calibration function, and let's use this fragment as an example. I will show it to you on the upper camera. To be this I will turn the lamp, dial down the exposure. This fragment, it has a darkish surface, so that's good for demonstrating the new possibilities of adjusting the image recognition. Also, it has a handle and the profile that we will want to capture. So let's turn off the lamp. So first, let's have a look at adjusting the profile. I will turn on the laser lines, and I'm still in the calibration mode. So here you can also see what the camera sees. It's better for the demonstration. Here I can also turn on the profile, so I can see what the cameras see, and it's fairly good. And here it's a good example of for the fragment filter. So sometimes you will have, especially if the laser line would be visible, you will have different undesirable fragments, which if you turn on the fragment filter, they are filtered out. But sometimes, especially in a case like this where you have a profile and a handle, and maybe you want to capture both, then the fragment filter actually is not desirable. So then you can turn it off, and you can capture the profile and the handle diameter. Here also you can see there's a sensitivity slider which modifies the sensitivity of the recognition of the laser line. So it shouldn't be too high, because then we get a lot of fragments, or not too low, so because otherwise the profile is not detected. And it's especially good for pottery that's darker, or that's where the laser line is more difficult to be seen. So there you can adjust the sensitivity and exposure until the profile is captured in the best way possible. Okay, let's the last new function is the reflection filter, and I will demonstrate it on it's good for more glossy bowl. Let's say we have a bowl like this, where there is a lot of reflections due to the glossy surface, and here the reflection filter helps to filter this out and get a nice profile. Oh, and I've almost forgot. There's the reduce noise function, which is useful, especially when you're holding the profile, the fragment in your hand. Then I will switch to the capture profile mode, and so you see there is some slight noise due to minute movements of the hand, and this reduce noise function uses averaging to suppress this kind of noise, so you can get extra precise results. Okay, so this is about the new functions. These are also accessible in the capture mode, so you can adjust the sensitivity on the fly, and also use the other functions. So let's capture the profile. Just so you see, this fragment has the longest preserved profile is also where the handle is. So we will need to separate it out and capture it separately, and then also capture the handle. And for this we will use the fragment filter and turn it on and off as needed. So first, with the enabled fragment filter, I'm gonna capture the profile like this, and you see it's the rim is not completely captured, so we will fix that later. You can use the reduce noise function to get a better outline. Okay, captured. And now to capture the rest of the rim, I will turn the profile, and so I get just this portion that wasn't properly captured. Oh, sorry. Again, here is a good point to demonstrate the new undo function. Because I accidentally captured the profile again, so I just click undo, and I'm back here, and I want to capture a detail, so I click capture detail, and now I can capture the rim. Turn it off, click it and drag it with the left mouse, rotate it with the right mouse button as in the previous version, and match it to the profile to get this part. There's also a new zoom function now, so with the mouse wheel I can zoom in to get a better view and adjust it. And now I can use the trace function to trace it around and to get a complete profile like this. I store it as a profile. Okay, now to remove all this detail that I don't need anymore. Okay, so the profile is captured. I can use the smooth function, which is also a bit improved in this version, to smooth it out a little. Okay. Now the orientation. To facilitate better orientation, there's the new grid function. I can turn on a millimeter grid. This is in 2 mm steps, and which might help with the proper orientation of the fragment. Okay. So now I can reset the zoom and proceed to capture the diameter. This function was also slightly improved. So now there is averaging. So I don't capture just one diameter, but I capture several, and then they are averaged to provide a more accurate measurement. I use by left clicking and dragging, I use the crop function to remove this part of the profile which distort the measurement. Okay. And now I click capture, and you see the program starts to capture the arcs, and you see as they accumulate here. Okay, finish. I click capture again, and now I have to indicate where I took the diameter, and it's done. Okay, I can turn on the rim. The diameter is shown here. Okay, if I decide I want to edit the place, the point where the diameter was taken, which is automatically displayed when I selected the profile. So here I want to change it, I can just click this edit diameter point and move it, and the diameter is automatically recalculated according to this. Also, there is now the possibility to manually enter the diameter through the edit menu. Manually set diameter. I can change it to an arbitrary value in centimeters, and it will update the drawing. Okay, setting the break lines is very similar as in the previous version, but now they are more. There is more freedom to use them, so I can place break lines anywhere on the profile element. They can also be used, for example, as indicators of where a diameter was taken, of some details. Okay, inflection lines work also similar like in the previous version. The new feature is now if I select an inflection line, I can switch it to a dashed version of the line. So, okay, now to capture the handle. So this is the next step. I use the detail function, and I turn off the fragment filter now because I want the handle and the profile captured together. So the handle cross section, I capture it. Turn off the detail function. Now I can match it to the drawing. So I use the trace function to trace the handle that I want to keep and add it as detail. And I can erase this part. And you see it's open and it's not complete, but here maybe I don't need to really capture this part. I can just use the set it as closed and use the smoothing function to make it rounder, and it will do the trick. I can set it as filled. Okay, now I can add another detail which will show the outline of the handle like this. And trim it as needed. change it a little bit too much. Let's say, okay. Okay, so this is how to capture details, and let's look at the capture handle function. So let's say I would like to also capture the handle from the front. So I switch to the capture handle function. I use a white sheet of paper as a background and place the fragment on it. I can turn on the lamp here, tune down the exposure, because otherwise I get this nasty draggy effect here on the edges, which I don't want. So I turn it down, turn up the threshold until the outline is captured. I might have to use the crop function, so I only get the part that I'm interested in. Like this, capture. Okay, and now if I want to move this around, it's added as two details, the inside outline and the outside. So I have to select both like this with the rubber band selection, and then I can move it around. Maybe the camera is calibrated to scale it as if the objects were two-dimensional and lying on the surface. So if it's, of course, if it's some larger fragment, after capturing it might appear larger. So here I can use the new scale function. If I click scale, and then I click and hold the right mouse button and move it back and forth, and I can scale it. Again, I could use the millimeter grid to get the right scaling. Okay, so let's say I'm happy with this, and I can also capture the photograph, which works as before. Turn on the lamp, turn up the exposure a little, crop it. Use the threshold to find the outline. Like this, capture. And now I can also, for the photographs, I can also use the scale function. Click it and right mouse, drag, right mouse button, and place it in the image. So okay, this is not really. Yeah, it's a bit too much now, but it's for demonstration purposes. Okay, so there is also, except a part of the undo function, there's also a new function which allows to restore the last drawing. So let's say if the application crashes, that might happen. I can use this restore last drawing. It gets everything I do here is automatically saved and can be restored after restarting the application, so you don't lose your work. So this concludes this demonstration, and have a nice day.